Hello, Eric. Would you like to play basketball today?
Not too
much. It's all right. It's all right.
How do you turn this thing on? Okay. Volume.
Audio adjust.
Crank it. Alright, that should be.
Hey, Dimitri. I've been thinking about.
Hello, Eric. Would you like to play basketball today?
Not today, Dimitri. I've been thinking about galactic cosmic rays and their effect on astronauts. Do you realize that cosmic rays were named to be from their true identity?
I'm going to catch up with you later.
Oh, okay.
And here's the content. There you go. Good job.
Explain the dialogue.
Have you ever considered how grateful we should be for our atmosphere? Not only does it keep us nice and warm, preventing our Earth from being minus 18 degrees Celsius, but it's also protecting us from the sun's harmful radiation. Now, the radiation that comes from the sun is normal electromagnetic stuff, travels in the form of a wave, and has enough energy to move atoms around as it hits, but generally not enough energy to remove electrons from atoms themselves. However, there are some types of radiation that can do just this, and it's called ionizing radiation. An example is galactic cosmic rays, which are energetic charged particles that come from the outside of our solar system. We are actually protected from these by the magnetic fields of the Sun and Earth. But Mars doesn't have a magnetic field. So if you're planning to make a second home on Mars, GCRs are going to be a bit of a problem. So you might ask, what exactly are GCRs? Why are they harmful to us? And what could we do to protect ourselves against them? And that's what this video shall be covering. GCRs, in simple English, are a form of ionizing radiation that are thought to occur as a result of some kind of crazy high-energy event that occurs within our galaxy or beyond, but not in our universe. What can happen during these events is that the nucleus of an atom can go speeding off at 1 billion miles an hour, leaving its poor electrons for dust, and therefore making it charged, in other words, ionized. These remaining particles then have the potential to smash into other unsuspecting atoms and break those apart too, resulting in a whole load more charged particles. Which brings me on to question number 2. Why is this dangerous? Well, as you can probably imagine, if our cells get hit by these speedy particles, they'll just whiz straight through them, and the cell membranes being no barrier. They might just destroy the cell completely, or they'll start interacting with one of the most crucial substances to life, our DNA.
Nice.
So, a bit of background about DNA. DNA has a code that basically tells our cells what to do and determines unique individual characteristics. It has this cool structure called a double helix, and it's this that enables it to replicate itself, an essential process if our cells are going to be able to divide and repair tissues. There are various types of bonds that hold the components of DNA together, some stronger than others, but many relying upon there being positively and negatively charged areas. Therefore, if high-speed charged particles get near DNA, they could alter or destroy these bonds. And 2 things may result as a consequence. 1, when our chromosomes, the structures that are made up of DNA, start to make copies of themselves in preparation for cell division, they might end up being joined together incorrectly and then breaking apart completely as the cell divides. Or 2, the messages contained within the DNA might be scrambled, and these mutations may lead to various problems, including out-of-control cell growth, which leads to cancer. So, some of the potential complications in humans include damage to the cells of our immune system, cancers and tumours, damage to the eyes, for example cataracts, organ damage, or radiation sickness. So finally, how might we protect ourselves from GCR? To protect our skin from UV rays, we can use physical barriers like clothing, sunscreen, glass. To protect ourselves from X-rays, we can use a dense material like lead. So you might think that something like this might also work for GCRs, but you'd be wrong. It'd actually make things worse, because when one of these particles hits atoms, for example, it's a bit like a bowling ball hitting pins, or a firework that explodes and results in lots of mini explosions. We actually create a whole load more damaging particles called secondary radiation. An alternative element to use as a barrier could be hydrogen. These atoms are smaller, so they wouldn't result in as much secondary radiation. If you know anything about hydrogen, you know it's not exactly the safest substance to surround yourself in. As I mentioned at the start, we don't have an issue with GCRs here on Earth because of its magnetic field deflecting the particles. So if you could hook yourself up, or Mars up, with a magnetic field, then you'd be sorted. So, to summarise, GCRs are highly energetic charged particles that come from outside of our solar system. They can damage us in the way in which they interact with our cells or their DNA, resulting in cancer or death, and protection is currently an epic challenge.